Alright.
Sounds like part bird.
We are back.
Hey, welcome back.
Podcast number 21.
21.
Still getting weird.
Still getting
Legal drinking age.
steady getting weird.
We can now drink on the podcast.
Oh yeah. We hit that barrier.
Well, and technically, with some states, we can smoke on the podcast. We're 21 years old.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
that's the way
We're
that
we're
makes
aged
sense.
21.
We're age 21.
We're age
Makes sense if you're
In
stoned.
podcast years.
We're not even stoned yet. All right.
Very good observation.
we got the nigga Mikey Poo on again today.
That's me.
That's him. That's him right there.
Poo.
Can't get rid of this fool. Just keeps coming back.
I'm definitely in the building. We're gonna talk about some shit.
We got a lighter.
We're gonna blow
Oh,
some
I
lines.
do, in fact. And I never have a lighter, so
Maybe
it's fun.
find the time.
Oh, this is Jerrick's lighter. I gotta give it back to him.
So, how was y'all niggas week?
So, this week okay, and I guess I can say a
It
little
is
crazy
Friday.
metaphor at the end of it too. But this week, I started taking calls for Mac computers. So, I used to only be iPhones and iPads and just mobile shit.
And this is your job, right?
Yeah, this is my job. And so now I take care of Mac computers. So it's like this week was the most stressful but relieving week, because I guess it's just like, you know, when you get to a new job, that's how I feel like. I feel like I almost started a new job. Because like it's like, you know, when you get to a new job and there's like 50 things you need to do and you know like one of them, you know, like the gist of like 10 of them. Well, there's 40 things that you're just like,
You don't know the
oh my
exact
God.
processes to it.
Exactly, yeah. And so it's like, you know, I got this whole troubleshooting process in my head, but it's for a fucking phone. And, you know, and it's so funny how we think like our phones are so much like computers, you know? Because they're very, very similar. Very similar.
Yeah.
But they're so
just
fucking
like
different.
a smaller computer.
Yeah, but they're so different.
Yeah.
It's like the systems and everything inside of a mobile device compared to the systems inside of a... And the coding, too, inside of an actual computer. It's
Really?
crazy, the difference. It's crazy. It, like, blows my mind.
Those are the two competitor companies, basically. You're looking at the two leading operating systems that are competing with each other, right? So you can either go Windows or you can go Mac, right?
Well, no, I
So
work...
it's- yeah.
You're dealing with the...
Oh, yeah.
And the phones is a whole new technology. The iPhone operating systems
makes
versus like the Windows phone versus the Android. You know what I mean?
Well, and so we were
Those
actually...
are all pioneer fucking, like, the
Yeah.
people that are coding for them are like,
Hot shit.
that just came about, you know
Well,
what I mean,
that's-
with the advent of the
yeah.
smartphone.
That's what I want to actually get into is programming, and actually hope that I can keep my job at Apple. Been there
Such a
so
growth
long.
market, such a growth
that,
market.
yeah,
dude.
if I can like code and actually create programs for Apple.
Have you ever done any coding?
I did a little bit of coding when I had my first technical support job, because it was a chat job. And there was a lot of coding in that. And I've tried certain coding things that friends that work in coding has given me. Multiple friends, but I haven't done like any official coding. But then I think about it and I go back to the MySpace days. And
Oh, the
MySpace days, a
HTML
lot of
bullshit,
people
yeah.
like to just get the standard built, like you can customize and get custom built layouts on your website,
That was
on your
your
MySpace.
page, yeah.
But I liked going into the coding and actually creating my own website from the coding from the
Yeah.
ground up. And so like
That's
I feel
all. That's all written in HTML. That's
Yeah.
the coding language.
yeah, and so and the
if you
cool
know
thing,
that-
the cool thing about that is Windows and Macs are completely different operating systems, like 1,000-degree turns, but they both use HTML coding to code their.
Oh, they
They're,
both support HTML.
Yeah, exactly, and well, and so does.
And they
well,
both support JavaScript.
Yeah, exactly,
And, you know,
exactly.
all
But-
that sort of things.
I don't even know. I don't
Yeah,
know any of
what's
this shit.
crazy is at Mac we say that and that's the crazy thing is we support Java to a certain degree because we need to have Java. It's
Yeah,
like part of
it's
a
gotten big
system.
enough that you kind
Yeah.
of have to get in on it.
And that's what's cool too is like you have these
What's
main
Java?
Java's like
It's
it's
another
like the
coding
player.
language.
It's like it plays stuff on the
Yeah.
site, so it like plays like it makes you're able to play like videos and stuff. It's like
It's just
Video
another
game.
coding.
So what, you
language.
use like HTML to write all the website, and then you have a little
Window.
JavaScript
Yeah.
to play the movie.
To play the
So
movie.
on your
Java, so
website.
it's like Java's almost like consciousness, and then like it's the fucking code.
That's
is
what I'm
all-
saying. Yeah, is you have these. You have
because
these,
that's how
Yeah.
you see it. You know?
yeah, because you have these big boys. You have,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have Windows and
No,
Mac, you
it's
know, and Linux
Let's
and
see
all
let's see how
those.
we could go with it.
Yeah, and you have Windows, Mac, Linux, and a bajillion more that I don't even want to think about because those are the 3 most used in the world by 90% of people. And so
Linux is the third party, and Linux
Well,
is
Linux-
all of them.
But could you
Well,
have
no,
code
they're-
without
really?
it?
Linux is
Linux is Windows pretty much,
No, it's
but
not.
but less
No,
but less organized because you have to
You're
build
telling
it.
me something.
You
that
have to
I
build
know
it.
Could
about,
you?
but-
You have to build Linux.
I'm just pulling shit on my ass, but could you have, like, either without, like, could you have the code without the Java? Or could you? I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. Like, yeah, I mean,
Well, Java like
What
needs
the
a
fuck
place
is
to
Java?
be. Like Java, it's like nothing can be just Java.
Like, okay, you ever go to addictinggames.com?
yeah.
Play all those little games? Most of those are written on Java. No, I think that's Flash.
That's
I think I'm
Flash.
thinking of Flash.
I don't
Yeah, I
know,
think that's
dude.
the
But
Flash.
Flash and Java
Computers.
are similar, and Adobe is also similar.
Adobe.
So what happens when you
Adobe is
don't
a
have one of
company.
those things, though?
Java and Flash.
What happens if you don't have Adobe or Java or anything?
Then you just
Then you
can't
don't
run
have-
the
you can't
plugins.
run
Yeah,
that
nothing.
stuff. Yeah.
It'll just
So,
give you a big
but the
question
code
mark.
will
Say
still,
error.
okay.
It'll say error.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine.
But everything else will still work.
So check
fine.
this out. Imagine this.
I get it now.
You-
I get it 100%. I did. I was just trying to relate it towards like I was wondering like I was just
I see where you're trying
Yeah.
to aim, but
yeah.
but that's hard to aim there because it's like that's how
You
you know
gotta
it.
throw the fishing line out there.
Yeah.
Something, you know.
Well, yeah,
See how it
it's,
happens.
I could just see a lot of similarities with like the fucking just computers and this whole
Oh, but
thing. You know?
what I was saying is like, okay, so you have these big boys like. Before we got into the deep conversation, it was crazy.
You're telling us about your week.
You got Java, well, you got Linux, Mac, and then you got Windows, and so those are like your like runners, you know. And then you have like the HTML that runs through most of them, and then you have like the Java inside of that, which runs movable things inside of those, and then you have like your little base programs like your Safari and then like your Internet Explorer, like your things connect to everything, and so it's like you have this whole like little system built up, you know. And then what's crazy is that there's a war between like the main niggas, you know, like basically like a war like between like some countries, you know, and because those countries have like smaller governments inside of them, and those have like little niggas inside of those that control like the communities, and then like the communities, you know.
Is there niggas that are
what is
like,
going
I
on?
only use Java? Is there niggas
Well,
that
no,
like-
because like well, okay, so it's not niggas that do that, but there's niggas that say I only use Apple
Like,
or
just
I
kinda
only
tap
use
on top of
Microsoft,
it,
you
yeah.
know.
I don't get why
And
people.
so- Well, and so the main reason why is because Linux
idea.
and Windows are an open operating
Yeah.
system.
Well, what I was gonna say is I don't get why people like we were saying, I don't get why people go like, oh, Apple, you know, because they get so fucking like
Take a break on
like
that.
it's a company, you know, and you've bought it before, but like even at like I don't know, my mom for example, like she's always bitching about how fucking her iPhone's fucking up. She's always bitching about it, you know, and then but she's like. I'm like, why don't you try out another phone? She's like, oh, I only will fuck with Apple. Like, that's the only thing.
That's
the only
that
thing
you don't
I
want to
fucking
go
like.
through the resistance of learning a new thing.
And also,
'Cause
it's
I
like,
can relate to that. Like, I wouldn't want to switch over to
Yeah,
something new either, because then you got to put all the effort into learning that, and what if it sucks just as much, you know?
ew.
Yeah,
Right
Yeah,
there.
Well, no, but I'm not saying that's what you should do, but that's the thinking. That's
a lot
why.
of people's mindset, like including mine, that I will get my ego wrapped in, like even like a certain kind of music, you know. Like my dad has raised me to like punk rock music, and I fucking hated electronic music basically my whole life until like a few years ago, and I don't know, like I as soon as I started liking it, like electronic music, I like was sitting there in my head. I was like, damn, I can't be a faggot and like this fucking gay ass music, you know, like.
So there was that resistance when
There was
you,
that
when you
resistance,
first started.
but then I
started something
just
new.
was like, fuck it, it's cool, you know. Like I actually liked it. You know, I just wasn't letting myself like it, and I don't know. It was just a lot of fucking mental shit.
Yeah, it's just that one step that, for some reason, when you think about it, you're like, no, I don't want to do that. But then the one time you decide to do it, it's like, oh, that wasn't even hard, and it's awesome, and now I have this whole new thing.
Well, what's fucked up about that whole thing is so I started my job with Apple in October. I got my first smartphone from a flip phone last March. And so I got an Android because like I've been a Windows and Android guy. I never had a smartphone, but I always supported Android way more than Apple. And I've always been Windows, you know, so that also gives me that angst against Macs, you know. Mm-hmm. And so when I first got my phone, I got an Android, of course, and my ex-fiance got an Apple. And so like we couldn't do all the Apple fun, cool, crazy stuff that like syncs everything, which is what's cool about Apple. But also like my Android phone, I was like, look at what I got. Like I have way more cool shit than her. And so then like me just being, even when she got the phone, I was like hating even more on Apple because like now I have like somebody I can like look at every day and be like, that fucking sucks. And so then in October, my the job I was working for, Verizon, I was working for a contractor for Verizon, and they closed Verizon sites down, so the contractor gave me a job to Apple. So I was like, all right, I'll take it, just because it's a job, you know. And I heard they paid really good, and so I went over to Apple, and during training and everything, I had this mindset like, fuck Apple, this is a fucking shitty phone and everything. You know, like, I'm an Android, no. And then one day during training, I just like decided like not fuck Apple. You know, like...
Decided not to be a punk bitch?
Decided not to be a punk-ass, bitch-ass nigga. Yeah. And fucking... The day after... That day, from then on, I love my job, you know? And it's like, even learning this Mac shit, because I'm such a Windows guy, it's like such a pain in the ass. But because I have a mindset that, like, I love this shit, Apple's fucking dope, and they're up there in the world, you know? And so it's like, it's a bitch to learn all of it, but I'm like... After I learn it, during the process of learning it, I will tell you right now that I'm fucking pissed as fuck. Because I gotta learn it and I fucking don't know, and it's like live and it's like fuck. But as soon as I am done with the process, it's like, oh my god, that's so fucking cool, nigga. Like, I didn't know it happened like that. I didn't know it worked like that. That is dope, nigga. And so, like, yeah, that was my little resistance story.
It's like everything kind of looks like you look at a new situation, everything's just like, especially a new job, you know, like my first job, I started at McDonald's. My fucking first day, I was like, looked at all these like little fucking buttons and shit on the screen on the menu to where I was taking orders, you know. Yeah. I was like, there's no fucking way. I was like, this isn't gonna work. And it's just a big scattered mess, you know. Yeah. And then eventually you create these little pathways between everything. You create all the little paths.
Muscle memories and brain memory and shit.
And then eventually it's just like biggie bam bam bam, you know. And then you got it all. And then it's just second nature. But I don't know, it's like that with anything, you know. Anything.
It's cool though that it's always gonna be a resistance no matter what, learning something. But it's cool that like if you go into it with the mindset like fuck this, it's gonna be like 10 times harder of a resistance. But if you go in the mindset of like, all right, then like it makes it's still resistance.
And you even
but
get into
less.
the flow state sometimes.
Yeah.
Like when you accepted it, like you'll notice you'll be like, oh, I didn't even think about this at all for the past 10 minutes.
And
like,
I feel like
then it starts getting hard again. Again, you know.
When I'm learning something and I'm with the customer and it's like I don't know this, but like I'm trying to power through it, you know, and trying to act like I do know it, even though I hella don't. It's like during that time I'm hella in my flow state because that's like how I flow is like when I'm fucking like, can I do this, and just getting rejected by everything and fucking, and then finally finding that one path and it's like yes. But like that's like my little flow state, and like I don't feel anything. I don't feel time. I don't feel anything. It's just me like getting through. Fully focused, getting through this. And then as soon as I get out of it and finish that customer, I'm like, oh, goddamn, son.
Rush.
I'm like, oh, that was dope. Oh. But, yeah.
I feel like with for me, one of the things a story I can think of with the resistance is for when I started eating healthy food. Like it was all these, now that I'm kind of through it, I can see that it was like all these mostly just dumb beliefs about the foods that I decided I didn't like at some point in my life. Like broccoli and onions for some reason I didn't like, tomatoes,
I love onions.
all sorts of shit. Pretty much most vegetables I just decided I didn't like, at some point. And then I started eating them, and it was definitely hard. And I'm still trying to, get better and better at that all the time. But now that I have done it for so long, I think it just tastes better now.
Yeah.
It honestly, it tastes better, and it's like it's easy to eat that way because that's what my body wants. That's what I want. And it's like, so I got through that resistance, and then now I have like a permanent. It's like I rewired my brain a little bit.
Yeah.
And now it's permanently rewired.
Yeah.
Dude, some of my favorite foods started out just like that. I can hella relate to that. Like onions, like, ooh, you better just fry them up, caramelize them, put them on the burger. Like, I fucking love onions. Oh my god, I look forward to that. Yeah. Shit, I'll fry up just straight onions, dude.
Really?
Yeah, I don't give a fuck, dude. Garlic cloves.
Dude, I love anything like with that just flavor, Just the flavors
So what's crazy about what's crazy about eating more vegetables in my diet lately is that I remember this one instance, and I don't know why it stuck in my head. I think it's because I like got shook as fuck. But I used to work at Jamba Juice for 3 years, so like the last year and a half, I knew fucking everything. I knew it like the back of my hand.
Slaying it.
And I was managing everything. So this dude that is of Eastern descendants, he comes in and he's like, not trying to be derogatory.
What's of Eastern descendants?
This customer that came in.
Middle Eastern guy.
Yeah, we don't understand because you're
That's
trying to be
racist.
so nice.
I know. I didn't say it was racist. I said I'm trying to get away from it. So that's why I said
Middle Eastern
that.
isn't
But
racist.
anyways, I know. That's why I said it. That's why I said it. But anyways, Middle Eastern dude comes in. And like at Jamba Juice, we have like everything's fresh fruit. It's all like 100% real fruit, and like all just like super healthy and shit. And so like this dude, like he comes in and he's like questioning me on like the cutting, washing, harvesting, and like the whole process of our carrots to the point before it gets squoze, so that because he wants to buy 100% carrot juice, pure juice, And so like he went through
juice.
Yeah, we do carrot juice and orange juice and wheatgrass juice. But after I quit, they now do ginger juice as well, ginger shots. Wheatgrass is a shot too. You don't drink a whole thing of that. That'll get you sick as fuck. But anyway, so he's talking to me about it, and then like we go through the whole process because I know the whole process. And like once we're done, we finally he's like, and he's questioning me like the little tidbits, And I'm like, thank God I paid attention, But like he's questioning the little tidbits about the whole process, and so like I go over the whole thing with him, smack dab, hella win the conversation, and then he's like, all right, cool, give me a carrot juice.
I was like, all right, trophy.
Yeah, and so like he's like, thanks for answering all those questions, like he'll help me, and he's like, the reason I was like getting at you so much there is because him and his family had been getting more into like a vegetarian diet, and he was telling me how not washing vegetables or not doing certain processes right of certain vegetables, it can be actually worse for you eating it than raw meat. Just because like it was a plant that was just grown and then picked, and so like most places you're like expected to be the one to clean and actually get it to eating preparation, and so he just went through the whole process with me, and it was like fuck, after the whole thing I was like, cool, I just sold a nigga on carrot juice, but fuck, like trained me, fuck. But
well, it's like you really don't realize that you've like, as soon as, okay, let's say, at least I've learned with a lot of things, especially skateboarding, I realize I know how to fucking do a trick, but then as soon as I try to teach somebody, it's like, fuck, I do not really know shit about this trick. I need to like try to fucking understand it and actually know about it to teach this. So I think teaching can be the biggest learning experience you could ever have.
Because you got to put it all into words.
Yeah,
some sort of understandable form.
Instead of just something that you do.
And so back in Greece, when they had like their big philosophers like Socrates and and them. They used to like for the philosophers of like the country, they would all go to this certain school that was usually like Socrates was the one that made it, but they would all go to this school so that they all could like philosophize together. But there was like a teacher teaching it, but like back then the teacher that taught it, which was a teaching method, where like people had to like, you know, you'd have like certain philosophies and you'd be bouncing them back and forth, and then randomly he would have somebody during the process of bouncing back and forth, he'd be like, all right, now that theory that you just thought of, that you just bounced off me to get an answer from me, now you have to explain that whole theory and teach everyone about why you thought about that theory. And that would just make them kind of like, okay, I thought of this theory, and then like I have to get in front of these people and think about why I thought of this theory to say why I thought of this theory so that they can think that way.
So then they can see your intention behind it.
Yeah, and then it also lets you learn more about what you just said.
Exactly.
Because you can say stuff all day, but like
you're just saying stuff.
You're just saying stuff. You know, anybody can say bullshit, but when somebody asks you, "Oh, well, how does that work?" then you gotta actually like have some shit to back it up. You know.
Yeah.
Then it's not like just that you're saying it. Then it's where's the proof, nigga?
Yeah.
Or how, nigga?
Where's the proof,
no, but like I was saying earlier, I don't mean to bring it back, but I thought it was so ironic how you're like person of Eastern descent, and then you just say nigga.
Oh yeah. I didn't catch that.
Eastern descent, nigga. That's what I usually say.
Politically correct.
But what's crazy is lately
political correctness.
Lately, I've been feeling like words have. I feel like I've known this. You probably all know this. Everybody it's just that like I just have to like relearn it. But it's like words have such a fucking goddamn like impact, you know. Like some words just hit, you know, and like.
But what do you put behind those words?
That also goes into it, but like also just the word, you know, just the word itself. It like has so much to it that it's like I feel like maybe that's why black people started saying nigga. Is because like there was so much power behind the N-word that like
that's fun to say. Because fuck is a powerful word.
They were taking the power out of the word.
Exactly. They were like, these white people want to call us that. Well, we all niggas.
I feel like we talked about this on the last podcast.
You a nigga.
We had like a similar conversation.
It was very similar. I feel like I just listened to it.
Yeah. I think like if everything goes in a spiral, you know,
we're like
I think,
one ring out.
Yeah, we're just one ring out, delving a little bit deeper into that specific area.
Makes sense.
Well, it's like if it all spirals out, you can like spiral in at like any point that you want, you know.
I'm gonna spiral your mom.
Ooh,
I'm gonna spiral your sister.
Oh, okay. Speaking of spiral,
a little bit too much.
Did you know that cats?
Too much sauce.
Did you know that cats' wieners are like spirals? Because
really?
like
they screw in.
They like screw into like the vagina, and that's why like if you ever seen a cat wiener, it's like a triangle.
Thanks.
And it's because cats, for some reason, unlike most mammals, cats like when they like get in the vagina, they have to like hook in there.
Yeah, it's
so
hard.
that there's because it's harder for them to like get cats pregnant. So like they have to like hook in, and then get it. So they're like getting it and then come out.
That's how ducks are. Ducks hella do the same thing. They hella rape their bitches, and their pussies are hella screwdrivers. I mean corkscrews, and their dicks are corkscrews too. So they really gotta fucking. That's why every time you see a duck try and fuck, it is straight no fun. Like
just violence.
Just straight rape, dude. It's bad. Ducks are fucking savages, dude.
Hell yeah.
They see one weak duck, they're like, fuck that nigga, let's get that duck. And I already said on another podcast, I fucking found this duck and he was getting fucked up and I had to save him.
What?
Even though I probably fucked up the whole evolution, but I was like, fuck evolution. I was like, I need to fucking step in right here. Evolution is not real right now.
I almost want to say
duck is real.
I almost want to say you pulled a human there, you know?
Yeah, I pulled a human. I was like,
fuck evolution. I'm gonna take this out of evolution and give it a better.
Well, it's kind of like how I'm a vegetarian, you know. It's like, fuck, I'm just gonna separate myself from the whole like.
The squad.
Well, no, it's not even that. It's not even that. It's, I guess, it's mainly factory farming. But I was talking about it with my buddy today at work. I was I don't know. I was talking about. I was like, I would probably be open minded to trying like elk or something, just to try it.
Yeah.
You know, just if it was like naturally, like, you know, like naturally harvested and like humanely fucking done and everything, then like I wouldn't see a problem doing it. And like, I don't know. I'm getting to the point where it's like, why not try some things in life, you know? Because like, if I do only live once, and I only live this life once, that's for damn sure.
That's how I decided to keep smoking cigarettes today.
Really?
Yeah, I was sitting in my car thinking just that. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking do some things in my life. I'm gonna go buy a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah,
and
but
isn't it cool to like something like that
I swear to
mindset?
God,
Isn't
I'm
it
not
cool
gonna
to
play
like be like, I wonder how much like, because I've been doing it a lot lately, and it's like fuck, but it's like how much like does it take for me to like cave into like something, you know?
Yeah.
Like let me
well,
say
it's not
this
even
and
that
then
I'm like trying to cave into eating.
Yeah, it's
you
totally
know?
different.
It's
Yeah,
just
it's-
I want.
Yeah, well, that's
I want
different,
to
yeah,
try
but-
something
yeah.
else. Like cigarettes, like it's like it's kind of, at least for me, it's kind of a different path, because what is that gonna like withhold you?
You
from
already
doing,
experienced
you know?
that
And
path.
if you exactly, and if it's already exactly, if it's been around, you know, if it's been around and you've already tried to be like fuck that thing, you know, then odds are, I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Dude,
because I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I do the same
Different
thing.
Yeah, Mike, if you were to
Pull the
like
human.
if you were to like eat meat dog or like elk,
You gotta
because
call me
it's
so I
so
can
long,
eat it with you, dog.
no, I feel like nigga, like you would have like, just to do it, you'd have to like hunt it, nigga,
Dude,
and
I would
kill
probably
it,
have
Yeah.
because then you would have that energy in it, and then it's like
that's what I was thinking of. I would, and I know that there's probably a couple of vegetarians out here like, this fucking traitor is a fucking piece of shit, PETA, fucking, and fuck PETA, fuck all that bullshit. you
Fuck
know?
'em.
I'm a vegetarian for me, not for anyone else, and yeah, I don't know. I think that's probably what I would have to do, just to see what being in that circle of life would be like. Even though I'm in, like, I've grown vegetables and stuff, and that definitely connects you to that, that feeling.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's a whole deeper level to it.
Oh yeah.
There's a whole, and that's what we should have Tyler on. Tyler, which is my old roommate, and he's Jerry's current roommate. Fucking, he's the experiences I hear when he comes back, or like from like a trip or something. It's just like, it's not even about the hunting, you know. It's not even about that. It's about just going out and fucking busting it out with your homies, you know, with an objective, you know.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's the most like raw you can get, I think. It's just like going out with a tribe, and you come back with food.
Yeah.
Like, that's just fucking weird,
yeah.
you know. Like,
you're killing.
That makes me feel good on the inside just thinking.
but
Yeah.
it does. Even, I'm a vegetarian. It feels good thinking about going out with a fucking tribe of men and fucking hunting for food.
Especially
it feels
when-
instinctual.
Yeah.
I could feel it.
That's what because it feels like you're like almost surviving, you know, like you're going out to get the meat to go survive, you know.
Yeah.
It's like you're going back to that basic survival
Yeah.
instinct,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, dude. Let's fucking have Tyler on, dude. Because I feel like he could fucking tap into some shit that we're fucking totally
Let's go
missing.
hunting.
Yeah, let's do that.
It would take me so long to get to that point, I think. But
Well,
What do you mean,
When
like
is
just
time
by
is time,
taking
you know
the
what I mean?
hunters classes and?
well,
things
no,
like that,
just
or-
to like be okay with it, you know.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
Because right now it's just a thought, huh?
yeah, right now
Yeah.
it's just thought. Even like the last time I accidentally ate meat, I fucking puked everywhere, and was like, my body's so not used to it, not used to it. And it was some shitty fucking chicken from the gas station,
Oh.
and I accidentally ate it in one of those little taquito things. And I fucking puked everywhere. But Yeah, that's the last bit of meat I've ever had in my mouth, but it just tasted like straight like flesh and like blood, so it was like nope.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was the most foreign, like weirdest thing that I can't even explain it because it's so normal, you know.
Yeah,
it's so normal.
So I was doing some research about pescatarians, right? And I stumbled.
And a
pescatarian's someone that it's like a vegetarian, but the only exception outside of vegetables and fruits and like all that is fish, which comes from pescado, which is Spanish for fish.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
the
so,
Latin word.
Yeah, well, in Latin or pesca or whatever the fuck it is. I took a year of Latin actually, and I learned it, and I learned it just because like I learned about language trees and everything, and it really interested me about Latin because Latin is where English comes from, but also where Spanish comes from, and I took 2 years of Spanish, so I thought it was gonna be like that backbone of both of them, you know.
Pescatarian.
But yeah, it's dead as fuck language. But anyway, so I was reading this shit about this pescatarian, and I stumbled across this one person. You know, there's just one person and everything, of course, but you have to get multiple people's like output in order to put an input into you. And so like I was reading this girl's thing, and she was talking about how she switched to pescatarian. Mm-hmm. And the point that I want to make right now that is like what hit me the most in it, that like at least got me to that point, like, oh my god, like it made me think about it for at least a day after. It was like she was like, it's really hard for a lot of people to go from eating meat to vegetarian, because then you're just completely cutting it out, and it's a lot easier for people to go from eating meat to being a pescatarian, because you still like you're feeding your mind that you're eating meat, and so it like makes your mind think that it's easier to eat more vegetables and everything, as compared to like just cutting it all out. And so she was like, the crazy thing is that like with meat, like, and this is like the 99%, and I don't know about elk much, but maybe it's 100%, but it's mostly 99%. But with like meat, you have to once you kill it and everything, you have to cook it, and then on top of that, like, who eats fucking raw meat that has been cooked? Like you have to season it and everything, otherwise it tastes like shit. And so then it like goes to fish, and fish, like, you can eat raw, and you can also eat it without any seasoning. That's what sushi is. And so it's like tons of people do that, and it's okay, Mm-hmm. It's just like actually eating the fish's taste instead of eating like the seasonings on the fish.
Yeah.
And then like and so she's like, I still sometimes cook and season my fish, but you don't have to, whereas in like with meat you kind of have to, otherwise it's gonna taste like shit that you don't want to eat.
Yeah.
And
that's
so
interesting.
It's interesting because it's like that's so true. Like I remember watching I forgot what show it's called, but it's Andrew Zimmerman's show where he travels around the world and eats different food. And he went to this one island with these people, and they were all like, it was Madagascar. So at Madagascar, it's just that little tiny island off the coast of Africa, and there's like not enough food like animals are there to eat animals, so everybody eats fish. And so everybody, like, they're like clans, they all like go fishing, and then they all meet up at this marketplace. But he was out with one of the clans one morning fishing, and he like got one of the fishes, like, and so like he was talking to the dude, and he's like, yo, can I just like eat this? And the dude was like, if you want, dude, like, like usually we take it back and then they skin it and stuff, but if you want to eat it right now, just eat it. And he's like, all right. So he like cut the fish open right there on the sea, cut out a little slice of it, and then ate it. And he's like, god damn, he's like, that's the freshest fish I ever had, And then another crazy thing is my bold boss from Jamba Juice, he was talking about Mauricio, yeah. Mauricio my nigga, he's like a second father to me. But Mauricio, he was talking about Oaxaca, Mexico, and Oaxaca this last year has actually had this really bad battle against the civilians and the military, like blowing each other up and like big fires, big bombs, everything. Which is funny because he told me about Oaxaca, and Oaxaca sounds like you could spell it, but you can't spell it. It's like Oaxaca, and that's Oaxaca. And so Oaxaca, Mexico is this little place, like kind of southern western, I think, Mexico.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how one time he vacationed there, beautiful city, and he went to this underground cave with his wife. So he's like going in this underground cave, and all of a sudden there like starts to be like sand, and he's like, whoa, and so like going down there, well, they were going down with people and everything with the tour, but like, you know, there's sand down there all of a sudden in this cave, and then all of a sudden you see a little tiny light, and you start getting closer and closer and closer, and you're like on the beach, and the ocean's like on the other side of it. So you like go down underground into this cave, and then like on it goes out to the ocean. And so like it's this dude and his wife, and they have their own company, and they have like this net right there that like catches the fresh fish as they try to go into the cave, you know? Yeah. Because fish will try and go in there, and they'll get caught in the net. And then there's live fish in the net, and then you go up to the dude and you tell him what kind of fish you want, and he goes in the live net, kills it right there, cooks it right there, and you have the fish. It was alive less than 20 minutes ago.
It's a restaurant?
It's like a little like restaurant, like eat on the sand, like eat inside this cave, like.
Is it expensive?
Take your bitch on a date here.
Most stuff down there isn't too expensive.
Dude, imagine the first motherfucker who caught a fish.
He's a genius.
He was just like, what was he thinking, you know?
Yeah.
He must have saw a fish or something.
Yeah, well, yeah, if you're gonna go fishing, you have some intent to get a fish.
Yeah.
Especially those slippery fuckers, like.
But just those fucking motherfuckers that you don't think of, you know? Like, whoever invented, like, a bow and arrow or, like, fire or, like.
Yeah.
Like, just that fucking simple shit.
Exactly.
That just.
What about the guy who invented alternating current?
Nikola Tesla,
yeah. That's
because he saw it.
Dude.
He fucking saw it in his brain and then did it, and it worked.
It's funny that you say that because I was reading something that Nikola Tesla wrote today, and he was talking basically about how when he was a kid, he would train his mind to visualize things from memory, and then just like to manipulate like how to control visualizing things in his mind.
Okay.
And he would get to the point where he would like run out of new things to think of and like visualize in his mind, so he would have to go explore new places and get out of like his normal zone of like being at wherever he lived, right? And by the time he realized that he was an inventor and that's what he was going to do, like he had no need for like all these experiments and shit. He did most of the work in his head. You know, he wasn't just trial and erroring all day. All of that happened here, and then when it did finally come time to like, you know, put some blueprints down, like he was well
already
versed.
gonna work.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of scientists and stuff nowadays, like just really just getting deep with meditation and coming out with real discoveries. You know, I forgot the name of the scientist, but there's people who say that you can, like, this specific scientist, I forget his fucking name, I'll have to look it up and figure it out, but he does LSD and meditates and makes serious fucking discoveries, and he says it's because he can get down with the molecules.
Get down with the molecules.
Seriously though, like,
hell yeah.
That's how you make discoveries.
Yeah,
you know?
think about it. If you're a scientist, you have like all this understanding of the molecules. So you can go get down with them because you understand it. You know, like whereas like me, if I meditate, I'm not gonna be thinking down cells because I'm gonna think about what I like to do. You know, and that's what I'm gonna like.
And they're sitting there spitting game with fucking atoms and shit, does.
But then it just makes you think like whatever you're into, get it. Exactly. You know, like fucking get it.
Exactly. Get it.
What kind of discoveries has he made? Do you know?
Just a lot of shit about like quantum physics and just a lot of those discoveries have been made just within like that realm. You know, a lot of scientists nowadays are just using their minds just to discover shit. You know,
which makes sense
because you can test shit out. You know, like,
and especially with quantum physics, because like for somebody that knows science, they know physics, which is our realm, you know, and then to like break out of that and like even think about stuff with quantum physics, it's like you gotta break out of our realm, so you gotta do that meditating.
I'm gonna look up this fucking scientist because that's gonna irritate me. Your
brain's like it is a biological computer, way more powerful than any supercomputer that it has created. If you think about it, the original computer is right here. We just making fake imitations these days, but there's no there's I bet there's heights that we haven't even realized that we can reach within our own minds. Within our own...
Guarantee it.
I mean, I don't know.
I saw this meme that was like, the vagina is the best antivirus ever created because like, you know, like it gets pumped with all this information, all these sperms, you know, but then it has like detractors to like make the sperms go their wrong way so they don't get to the eggs, so that the stronger ones get to the eggs, and then it has like other stuff once it gets towards the eggs so that the stronger swimmers have to swim even stronger to it, and then like multiple sperms can hit an egg before one cracks through it. And it was like it did all the mathematical equations, but it was like
you imagine being that sperm.
Dude, I was at work today and I was like,
my earliest memory is
wait, I was that sperm.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking today. I was like trying to like just go like,
oh, that's fucking
like I was thinking about my fucking dad, you know. I think about my dad and my mom getting together, and I'm fucking blasted in, you know. And I'm just like going through this intense like fucking fractal work because you're that small, you know. You have to see like if you do see it, like, which I like to think you see because it's more fun to me in this little realm that I'm in and at work bored. Yeah. And so I'm this little sperm and I'm just imagining myself fucking flying through this fucking world of fucking fractals and just dopeness because you're that small, you know, so you have to see like within all that stuff. You have to see more, you know, because like
you take one fractal and you're dead. You don't
yeah,
well, baby.
And I'm just fucking zooming, you know, I'm zooming, swimming my fucking tail off, and I'm flying, and then I fucking like get to the egg or whatever the fuck it was, this bubble. This is why I'm thinking of it in my head because I don't even know any of the science behind it. I kind of do. And then I get in the egg, I fucking munch out on this thing. and then I'm just like, I'm fucking growing, you know, I'm just imagine myself growing. And I'm wondering, like, what, like, from that whole, like, fucking strenuous journey of me fucking running as jizz, you know, just fucking running through the fucking
competing
pussy.
Against all the
just fucking running, you know. I'm wondering, like, well, from all the other jizz, you know, like, they're all fucking with me, you know, talking shit, like, you're a bitch, nigga, fuck you, dog.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it. Hey, go take that turn.
I wonder what kind of, like, trauma we still hold from then, like, in our DNA from then all the way until now, and what is affecting us from the decisions you made as a fucking cum.
As a
and fucking I don't know. But and I was thinking like after I'm like getting bigger as a baby, I'm getting bigger, and then some shit happens, a little bit more traumatization, you know, like just because you're getting affected, you know, you're becoming a something, and you're getting affected, and then I get born. Then that's a fucking just the most fucked, like, disgusting, scary fucking thing I could ever go through, you know. It's just like, oh my god, like, what, like, I'm here now, but like that was fucking terrifying. Like, I thought I was dying. I thought I was fucking dying, but I was just getting born. And
bursting out the puss.
Then after I'm born, because I remember I had a fuck. When I was a baby, I had a fucked. As soon as I was born, they put injections in me because immunizations, and then I start having seizures from the immunizations.
Like right when you're born?
As soon as I'm born.
Oh, wow.
And dying, like fucking straight up dying. Like not like my mom's freaking out. I'm like basically dead at this point. And then they're still trying to like inject me with shit because they think that's what like they think I'm fucked and they're just fucking me more. But and then like through all that, you know, and this is crazy just because all this thought at work, this dumb fucking jizz thought, brought me all the way to like the trauma I had when I was a baby, you know, and how many times I've almost fucking that I've basically fucking died, you know, and like just seizure, like to the point like just glitching out, you know, and I don't know, till I was about like fucking 3 or whatever. I remember my first memory, and I was driving a car, Hot Wheels car, on my mom's belly. And then she was pregnant with my little brother, and I was just going vroom 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 vroom, and then like a few nights passed by or whatever the fuck. I don't even understand what's going on in time at this point. I don't even really remember properly, I don't think. And then all I remember is fucking sirens, just sirens. Mom, sister, just like, what's going on, and I'm just like, I don't even know, dude, because I feel like just going into these deep corners of my mind, and it's just like, I don't know if I remember it or I, like, if it's dreamed it.
I know the feeling.
But yeah, and it's just crazy. And what I'm basically getting to is once you really try to trace down where the fucking trauma is, and because we all try to blame the trauma, we try to blame it on everybody, but it fucking starts at jizz. You cannot do anything about it.
It starts at jizz.
It starts before jizz.
Think about like when you're the energies fighting to become a jizz inside of a ball sack,
Well, it's just a big ass grinder, and we gotta fucking realize that it's not gonna be fucking nice and smooth.
But the me at the end of the day is gonna be the finest me.
There you go.
The most finely ground me that there will ever be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's all gravy, baby. It's about the
it's all gravy, baby. But yeah, it's interesting though, trying to trace back the trauma, and it's like I can't. I fucking can't. I tried to blame it on everybody. Tried to blame it on everybody, but I fucking can't.
What if it comes back to the point where like
it all comes down to fear?
Yep.
Yeah. And your attitude about it. It's only trauma if you say it is.
Well, and it's some sort of trauma, either good or bad trauma. Trauma can be good or bad. People like, I have some fucking wonderful trauma, but
I don't even know how to respond to that.
I have some shit that I'm never gonna forget. It was so dope, like. And I have some shit that I fucking want to forget. That was so fucking like fucked, But I can't forget,
I think trauma implies that it's bad, though, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Really? Yeah, I get what you're saying. I guess it depends.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm meaning
I see what you're saying.
I'm meaning like a scratch on the record, like a groove that's in. I don't fucking know. I'm just trying to get metaphorical, and this is bullshit.
And this is bullshit, Mike. That's funny.
I was thinking of something similar to this last night. I wouldn't say trauma, but like, I guess it's kind of trauma, just from like laziness and things in your life that like leave those neural pathways,
Yeah, those grooves.
It's almost like trauma in a sense. But I realized, because I took a break from smoking weed for the past 5 days.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. Oh yeah, because that. Well, anyway, because of that.
Got you.
Because of that, I've been having dreams again.
Ooh,
and for some reason, they've all been about video games.
What?
All been about video games that I've played over my lifetime, because I've spent a good amount of time playing video games, now that I think about it.
Any oldie flashbacks?
There was a dream where I was in like some sort of Minecraft type game, but it was like way doper.
Way doper.
It was like, you can do so much more shit.
Are we recording?
Yeah, we are. Well, we'll take a quick break and then I'll continue.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but I've been having dreams about video games, and it's kind of made me wonder, like, well, I don't know, I guess pretty much exactly what you were saying, like that, all that bullshit that I has spent doing in my life, it's like left that trauma, kind of, and other things too, definitely other things that I was thinking about, because it led into other deeper things, like when I was addicted to fucking cough medicine and shit, like,
yeah.
like, because the only reason that I was thinking of that was because I've for some reason have dealt with a couple people that have had heroin addictions lately. Like I've seen them for some reason, and I noticed like the way they talk is different. They like have lost the excitement in their voice, kind of. It's almost like every word
soul's
is just like,
a little bit
like
spread.
A struggle, a struggle coming out.
I've noticed that. I know a lot of ex-heroin addicts. My parents were heroin addicts growing up and shit. Fucking, and you know what I think it is? I think that they have just felt more than they'll ever feel again. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so comparing it to now, it's like
redlining your car, dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you're redlining yourself.
It's like you got so quick. I remember I redlined my first car one time, but like barely, like probably 500, not even 1,000, but 500 RPMs, and like just the kick I got as soon as I hit that red line, it was like boom! That just like kicked so much harder. But like,
what do you mean?
Like once I got up there,
because the red line is the limit.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't go anymore.
Well, no, because redlining starts at like usually like 7,000 or 8,000.
Over 100%, and you can't stay there
forever.
Right?
Okay, so you're going past the.
You're going past what you. There's a limit that you should never pass,
and you're exceeding it,
and you're passing that limit. Yeah. But there's still like 2,000 past.
Well, yeah, and then there's you hit the rev limiter after that, and it just goes, which honestly.
But then honestly, you're going past it because one time it
stops. It goes.
Well, in the actual engine, it's going past that because
there's something that cuts the gas going to the engine.
Because I remember having
a certain limit.
Yeah, my second or third car was a Ford Thunderbird, and the maximum on it was 80 miles per hour. But I remember one time I got so far past 80 miles per hour, it was like I almost was 1.5 turns. Like let's say 80 miles per hour is one turn or one full half turn. I was at like 3/4 of a turn. And I was going hauling at least 100, 120. You know, who fucking knows? But just showing my homies still. I'm like, yo, nigga, look at this. It just keeps going past it. Keeps going past it. It only goes down. And then one time I remember doing it with one of my homies. I was like, we're going 80, bro. And he's like, we're not going 80. And I was like, look, it says 80. He's like, it stops at 80. Doesn't mean we're going 80.
Yeah, exactly.
But newer cars, I know they have tons of shit to cut.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to be safe, nigga.
Yeah.
Trying to be safe.
Trying to be safe.
But yeah, I often wonder about that look in ex-heroin addicts' eyes as well, or current heroin addicts. I had this picture of my stepdad that we took, and I hadn't seen him in a while when the picture was taken, so I was super stoked. We were both smiling. But behind his eyes, there's nothing. You look like you can see it in the photograph. You can see it in like a picture captured in time, like artificially. Like you can see like the difference in our eyes. Like it's fucking insane, dude. It's something on a whole nother level. It's way deeper than feelings and emotions that we deal with on a daily basis.
Yeah. Do you think that's why I don't know, like a lot of musicians, you know, like Amy Winehouse and like
God, I fucking
musicians.
love her.
Oh, dude, Amy Winehouse is. I think there's something about heroin, you know, that takes you so deep that you can create some fucking gold with it.
You wanna know what's crazy?
Don't do it.
Don't do it. You wanna know what's crazy though?
But
stay in school, kids.
There's a lot of artists who went down that path, you know, and like I feel like there's a lot of artists who have straight up dedicated their lives to art.
Well, one thing that's crazy about heroin that I learned when I was in my DUI class, even though I never got a DUI, was that heroin, when you smoke heroin with someone, it creates oxytocin in your brain. And what oxytocin is it's the drug that you make in your brain when you're first born, when you see your mother.
Mom produces it too.
Because it creates that connection between you and your mother to make everything okay. Because you, like Mike said, you go through all this trauma, but oxytocin is made in yours and your mom's brain so that you guys feel so connected that everything's okay.
Wow.
So that makes sense why a lot of heroin addicts and stuff have went through a lot of trauma.
When my mom and stepdad got sober, they both realized that they had nothing in common. They hated each other. You know what I mean? You ever heard that song by 3 Days Grace?
I hate everything about you.
That's what that song is about. That song is about getting sober and fucking realizing that you hate this motherfucker.
Well, and it's...
I get it.
I was
kind of wondering, is that like about a relationship or something? I fucking love that song.
There's another song where
if you listen
it
close,
goes, you only love
beginning.
me when you're on drugs, you know, like.
Yeah, well, and there's I feel like there's a lot of songs like that. Just because like that's so common to like start doing drugs with someone, and then you find this rush that you both crave, so you become in a tense relationship, you know, this crazy relationship, and then like when you guys, one of you decides to get sober, and it's not like both of you are getting sober, one of you is, that person that's getting sober starts to realize, oh my god, I don't like doing anything with you at all. I like getting high with you.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's like, definitely seen it with my brother and like his 3 or 4 girlfriends, my older brother and his 3 or 4 girlfriends he's gone through when he had his really bad heroin addiction, you know. It's like you can just see their relationship just fucking turning into nothing, you know. But like they're staying together and you know that they're both still high, you know. And then you'll see either the girl get sober or my brother will get sober, and then it just thrashes all this shit because like they, you know, they built these crazy oxytocin relationships with each other.
Yeah.
So does that chemical get released like at any other time in your life?
I'm sure
when
it does.
I guarantee it does, but when I was reading into that chemical, it was because I was reading about.
I bet it happens when you bang.
Guarantee it.
Yeah, I could see it.
At least
That would make a lot of sense.
Maybe only like
sense.
I don't know though, because like to me, like now thinking about oxytocin, it's like that is a drug that makes trauma feel better, you know.
Goddamn.
That's you know. And so, so I don't know if that'd be released in sex unless like it was maybe you guys' first time and you're both like.
Well, and
maybe that's why
let me rephrase.
so.
But like,
Interesting.
there's a point to where you get like, okay, you first couple times banging, having sex with a girl or whatever you want to call it. It's cool and all.
Fetty wapping.
But then you start to get to know the girl and what she likes, you know, and what you guys both like, and then you start getting to those real like deep levels, you know, of like the actual situation, you know, to where it's like more than just sex, you know, and you're probably creating that.
Well, and I can see some
Yeah,
crazy chemical
that.
but
that's where I'm fucking weird that way, dude. I guess I only like to have fucking trippy crazy sex, dude.
But I can see
That's
that.
not
I can
a bad
definitely
thing,
see
I
that.
guess.
But I can also see it as creating a different chemical, like a love chemical, because I feel like when I was reading into, I feel like when I was reading into oxytocin that it mentioned like heroin and when you're born.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
I'm sure it's-
specifically said like these are like the things when this is.
Well,
released.
that's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is a lot of those chemicals like dopamine, oxytocin,
But, yeah.
a lot of those things, they all are pretty synergistic.
Yeah,
You know? So
yeah,
like
that's true.
they all come around at the same. I'm pretty sure. Is oxytocin one of the chemicals that comes out when you get into flow?
No.
No.
When
you get what?
That's it.
Get into a flow state.
Flow state.
What's a flow state?
Well,
It's your mom.
I guess it depends on who you ask, but technically, people are calling it now like when all 5 of these certain neurochemicals are released in your brain at once, then it creates a flow state, and it's like what athletes get into, or like people who are like
When I'm
have
on
almost
my
died.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're playing League of Legends,
fully-
dog.
When
Fully
you're
in your flow
like-
state.
But when one thing leads to another, and that thing leads to another, and then it just goes, you know, one step at a
I know
time.
exactly what you mean, and I've often, after experiencing that and having it wear off, for lack of a better descriptor, I've like thought, like, how did that happen? Like, could I identify how to make this happen,
Yeah.
or could I identify when it's coming up so that I can direct myself
And you
into a
can.
And it's-
maximum productivity? You know what I mean?
You
It's
can,
like I was
you
saying
can
earlier.
train yourself to do it. Well, and there's ways like
If I could be
Steven
in my flow
Kotler,
state
this
all the
guy,
time, I'll
You
conquer
gotta
the
do
universe.
you gotta do
dude.
crazy shit.
well,
you gotta do new shit.
Steven,
That's the thing,
exactly.
like-
You gotta stretch. And Steven Kotler, this guy who does a lot of research on this, there's this whole thing going on called the Flow Genome Project right now. There's a whole bunch of people researching this, like athletes, and
Yeah.
there's a whole bunch of people fucking researching this specific topic and how to get into it. I recommend fucking reading Steven Kotler's book. I haven't fucking read it, but fucking read it. It's called like Rise of Superman or some shit.
Yeah.
And but basically, a good way to get into flow. So let's say let's say you're skating or anything hard, you know, anything that you like to do. Me, it's skating. I'm skating down the street, and then I'm gonna fucking try something I don't really know how to do, or like that I can do but like don't know for sure. And I fucking land. Okay, I land that, and then as soon as I land that, as I'm in that like pumped state when I landed it, that's like, and while not trying to recognize that I'm in that pumped state, that's when you're gonna have your most optimum performance, because then you're just like going, and then you could go from there. And like Stephen he was saying, like one example that he used was he was skiing with his friend, and this guy there was a big like chute coming up, and this guy did something called the airplane turn before he went into the chute, which is a lot harder, and the chute was gnarly as fuck. But and then they both get to the bottom of the chute, and then Steven Kotler asked the guy, he's like, hey, why did you do that crazy ass turn up there? He's like, because it made the chute a lot easier, you know, I could just flow right through it because I already got that over with. That it's like nothing now.
So I wonder if you could like use that to your advantage in your life, kind of like when you have this momentum going,
I use
keep
that in
it
my
going,
life all the
because
time,
it makes the next thing even easier.
I'll often try to do the harder of two options first as well, and that fucking helps me phenomenally.
Because the rest is easier.
Yeah, I would be way more of a quitter than I am if I didn't fucking do shit like that.
And that's crazy, because that's the placebo effect.
Full circle.
But we should wrap this shit.
Yeah, we're about to go see Jerrick play. Jerrick was on a podcast.
He was
on a podcast that got deleted on accident, but
we'll get him on.
But Wasted Youth, allegedly sober.
Fuck him.
Peace out with your peace out.
Peace out. Much love, niggas. Woo!